Hi, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you here how we color dot painting from using an inverted, how you say, a template, okay? So a lot of times it's kind of hard figuring out the colors and how to place it. So I made you a colored version, which you printed out and use as a reference. So here's the black and white version, okay? So the first thing that you do is when you have your inverted version, all right, what you're going to do here, I'm using my, let me use my inverted version here. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so wait a minute, hold on. I have to use my inverted version here. Let's see. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is you have your copy here. So what you're going to do is you want to make sure that you kind of get rid of the opacity. Make the opacity to a level where you can make it so that, you don't want it too bright. Just adjust the opacity level a little bit. My layers are going to look a little bit different than yours because I'm going to drew it. So my layers not all in one copy. Yours are just one. You're going to have just one layer. So just adjust your opacity level to a level, just to a level that's comfortable for you to use to look underneath so that you can see where to place your dots. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so now what you're going to do is create a brand new, just a separate layer. So your layer here is your layer that's going to have your template, and then your new layers for your color. Okay, so let's start with the color. It'll all make sense as we move along. So let's go to our dot templates here, and let's grab a dot. Here, it's frozen here for some reason. Let's unfreeze it. Okay, let's use the dot stamp one. I usually use dot stamp one a lot more than I use the solid one, just because it looks a little bit more natural. But it depends on what you're using it for. Some people like the solid one. Just depends. This is just, like I say, just more of a all solid. And then when you use this dot stamp here, you can see this is just has a little bit more of a shadow in the middle, and it's a little bit more airbrushed look. So it just depends on what look you want. Okay, but I'm going to use dot stamp one for this here. So let's start in the middle. Now I created a palette for you here, and it's right here, and it's in your thing. So let's start by putting in your base. So I use the light yellow here, and let's kind of create a base here of the yellow. And you just got to kind of play around with it as far as to kind of basically fit it in with the size. And I'm just kind of, you see how I'm even I'm just kind of playing with it here. I mean, I could have wrote down what size it is, but I mean, it's not really necessary. I mean, I guess I could have. Maybe I will. You can tell me if it would make it a lot easier. But I mean, it's easy enough to guess. Okay, so there's the first size there. And then now I'm going to go and I'm going to put in another color here. Let's see. Actually, that looks like that pattern, the color was off a little bit, but that's okay. I could fudge it around a little bit here. I'll just put a little different yellow in the middle. Maybe I messed up a little bit on the pattern, but that's okay. This is just the middle one. Not really worried about it. It won't really matter that much. Just try to get the middle kind of centered here. Okay, and then let's get the orange in the middle here. Okay, so now you've got the middle going here. All right, now let's grab the this kind of like a mustardy kind of color, and kind of guess to the size. So you put one down and you realize, okay, that doesn't work. So just kind of gauge the size, okay? And that's about the size. So the first thing we're going to do is you need to turn on your drawing assist, okay? And if your assisted isn't on, you remember how you turn your drawing on? You just go to your little wrench tool, and then you go into your canvas, you turn on your drawing guide, and you make sure your symmetry is selected, and all of these boxes, all three of them are checked, and then just hit done. And then make sure on your layer that your drawing assisted is checked. And then that way, when you put down your little dot like that, then they go all the way around. Okay, so then just put your dot right there, see? So now you could just follow the pattern and just try to get the size as close as you can just by adjusting it a little bit. okay? So that's kind of where the yellowy orange ones go. And then now, let's see, we got yellowy orange ones. That one actually looks like those ones were the blue ones, huh? So let's grab looks like these were these bluish ones, looks like. So I'm gonna put these little bluish ones in here. Maybe these ones are a little bit bigger. You just kind of play around with it a little bit. If you're doing it for a print or for a coaster, you just want to take your time just to make sure you get them all really, really nice and neat. And then just put your dots in here. Okay, and if you want, you can highlight each one of these with a little bit of a lighter color if you want to really make them stand out a little bit. Okay, then on this one here, just select a color and then make it a little bit bigger. And then just adjust it a tiny tad just to get that color, get that shade in there. Okay, now let's go up here to this one, and this is gonna be, we've got a yellow. Okay, now this one here is a ring, and now because the ring is here, you're just gonna have to know kind of that it's got a big ring, a ring inside, and another small ring in the middle. Okay, but you're gonna use the darker, the lighter, and then a blue. So you're gonna take the let's just use maybe a darker orange, and then just kind of make a bigger circle, and that's not big enough. So you just, like I say, you just kind of play around until you get the right size. That's about a good size there. And then we're gonna take a lighter yellowy color and make it a little smaller. Okay, and then we will take maybe another little darker orangey color if you want, and you can use the color that I gave you for a reference. Just use your the colored picture as your guide, and you can change it and alter it as you want. It's just to give you a little helpful little guide, to help make it a little bit easier choosing colors and stuff, and placement of your dots, of course. Okay, so this one here we're gonna make a little bit bigger. Here, make it about that big or so. And then we're gonna put, looks like it's maybe a nice little yellowy dot in the middle. Okay. Okay, and then like I say, you can always adjust and put your highlights in on top of these as you want, to make them a little bit more interesting. And then maybe you want to get these dots here. You just place them in and have fun doing them here. Now on this one here, you can use your ring. So you come over here and you grab your ring number 1 and grab, looks like that might be a white. So let's grab a white. And now you're going to have to play around with the size again a little bit here. And let's just see. Okay, so that actually came out pretty perfect. That was looks like a size 2. So I just kind of put it right here in the middle and just kind of put it at a 2 and kind of put it right here on that dot and kind of put it in the middle a little bit. Just to kind of get close to where that was. That was like a size 2. And then let's take an orange and go back to get your dot again. Get your dot stamp 1, and then try to just kind of see about where you're at with the size wise, and then you see you got to make it a little bit bigger. And then you're going to do a lot of undos, and it's a lot of trial and error as far as, figuring out what size it is. But that's no big deal. It's part of the fun, just figuring out what size to make it. Just follow the template that I made for you. And just try to place it and copy it right on top of there. And then you can see if this template, that's close enough. But it's kind of better if you work with one at a time, so you don't go too far ahead of yourself as far as doing your dots. Like, so right now we're working on this dot here, so we might as well just stick with the same dot, you know, like finish it off. And then make this one a little smaller. Okay, now maybe you can go over to this dot here, and this is gonna be, looks like, let's see. It's harder for me because I didn't print out my worksheet. I'm looking on my computer to copy my print, so mine's gonna be a little harder to do than yours is. Okay, so there's that one, and then let's take a yellow. And I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Okay, make it a little smaller. All right, now let's go over to this one over here, and this looks like it's another orange. And let's make it about, it looks like about an 8. Let's see, it's about roughly, let's see, about an 8 or so, maybe 9. Let's see. It's about an 8 or so. Okay, it's about an 8. And then let's get that blue. I think I'm going to put the dark blue in underneath there, and I'm bringing that to about maybe a 4. And then I'll get the light blue and maybe bring that down to a 3. Oops. That's too big. Okay, so we got the blue in there. Okay, and that's kind of a little big, but maybe I'll make it a little smaller. Like I say, it's just a matter of your taste. Make it whatever suits your fancy. Whatever suits your fancy. Okay, now we got, after the ring here, we got some green. Looks like we got some dark green dots. So let's get some of these green dots here and see what we got. That might be a little bit big. So I'm going to bring that to maybe a 7. Okay, so maybe 2 7s. And also it's going to depend on how big you're, like how zoomed in you are, to what size you're going to put it. You know, mine is zoomed in pretty big. So since mine is zoomed in a little bit bigger, my size might be different than yours. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to put a little bit light green. Maybe put a little light green on there, on that part there. Okay. Now let's do these 3 oranges here. We got 2 white little pearls. So I'm going to grab the white and make 2 white pearls. Let's see where we're at. That's too small. So I'm going to guess here and go maybe up. Let's see, I'm at about a 5 here. That's too small. So I'm going to go up to about a, let's see, 7. 7 might be a little bit too big, so I'm going to go to a 6. So see what I mean? You just got to kind of just play around. Okay. And then now I'm going to go up here maybe to like a, let's see, a 10 maybe. No, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. And then go grab that pretty blue. I love this blue color. And put the blue in there. And now also you can mess around with that transparency too if you want. And try to, you know, get a transparency if you want to make it not so, you know, solid. You can make it a little bit transparent. There's a lot of things you can do. You just play around with however, you know, you want it to go. Okay, now let's do this one here. Maybe that's about that size there. And let's get a light blue. And put the light blue in there. Okay. Now, there's some tricks coming up here that I'm going to have to show you. Some really cool tricks. So just stay tuned here. There's some fancy schmancy stuff coming up. Okay, let's start. Now, when you get something like this, what you need to do here is do your ring first. So grab your ring and let's get your white and let's figure out about the size for your ring. Okay, and that's not going to fit there. So let's get rid of that. And you're going to have to just play around until you can get kind of close. Don't worry about getting it perfect because I'm going to show you something here. Okay, so just try to get it kind of about where you want it. Now, here's another trick you can do. You can get a new layer, okay, and then put it down as close as you can. to about where you want it, and use your little adjustment tool. Oh wait, sorry, here, hold on. You can, let me get rid of that. Make sure you set, if you get a new layer, make sure you set your drawing assist on it so that it makes it so that they're all, they go around. You can also hit your adjustment tool, and you can kind of adjust it on here as well. You can kind of rotate it a little bit and kind of make it bigger and smaller. It kind of helps you a little bit if you need to do it like that, if you need to cheat a little bit. Maybe it's a little, kind of a little helpful trick if you need to, if you really want to get real perfect, Just kind of mess around with the thing like that. And then if you want to know where you're at, you can always go to your layers and just unblock all the stuff underneath there. And then you can kind of look at it and see, kind of how it's looking by just untaking, just taking off your assisting layers. See, I just took everything off so I could see kind of where I'm at. So you can play around with that as well. Okay. Okay, so now I'm on this one here. So I placed that one here. Now let's go and put the dark or the blue in. So make sure I'm back on my dots and not that round circle. And then kind of guess again to about where that middle is going to be of that. About there. Maybe you want it a little bit bigger. And you just want to play around, Again, it's just kind of play around with it until you can get it the size you want. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, over here, what I do here is I will make one big one, okay? Then I'm going to come down here and make this a little bit smaller and make it a little bit smaller on each side. Then make it a little bit smaller, just a very little bit smaller. And this is called walking the dots, okay? And you want to come down on each side, come down a little bit, and then make it a little bit smaller as you go down. It's kind of like you're tapering it, just kind of taper it down. And when you get down towards the bottom, you want to make it kind of little so that it fits, and you can fit it into the bottom area. You know what I mean? So it's walking the dots. So if we want to do another one up here, what we're going to do is, okay, well, actually, I'm going to show you a trick on this one up here. So on this one up here with the pink one, let's use our ring number 3. And let's grab this pink right here, this one of the third one right here, this middle one here that you can see me blinking. You can't see my hand, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. But all right, so let's just kind of, you might need to make a new layer and do the fidgeting with it. Because see how it's kind of hard to layer it? So get a new layer. Make sure you're on the drawing assist. Okay, and place your thingy down here and just kind of adjust it. Now, if you notice, it's not really adjusting it to each one here for some reason. So you're just going to have to squeeze it and play around with it until you can. And this is a little tricky, just to kind of, you got to squeeze it and play around until you get them to be exactly the right way. This is the only thing that's a little frustrating. And it's just something you got to play around with. And that's why this is a little bit more advanced. Now, if you don't want to use these, you can do each one individually, okay? I didn't when I first drew it. So let me see why. Hold on. When I first did this one, I didn't have to do it. It just came out perfectly. And I remember I did it on a number 13, I think it was. So let's try and see what this is at. Okay, it was 13, and let's see. Let me try to. Yeah, so you just got to kind of try to see if you can place them on there. That's a little frustrating. But see, you just fudge it a little bit. You just try to get it as close as you can. So I did that as a 13 and then just kind of fudged it a little bit using my layer and then just kind of moving it around a little bit like that. Okay, now what you can do to make it easier, then you just turn it off like that, and then you've got your patterns all done and set. That's what I'm saying. This part's a little bit advanced when you're using that little trickier thing, but it makes it a lot easier because it's a stamp and it's all, you know, all done for you with the stamp. But you just got to play around with it a little bit to get it to work the way you want it to. Okay, then now you're going to get your light pink, and you're going to, now what I do here is get your first dot. Oh, go back to where your dots are. And don't get frustrated on that little part, you know. I mean, that's a little tricky, I know, but you can get there. Okay, now here's another method of doing that on its own. Okay, start off by making a bigger dot here, and then you're going to walk the dots down. So make these a little smaller so that they fit, and then just come around only to about where they start getting a little tight, about there. As soon as it starts getting tight, make them a little smaller, and then start walking them down. And you don't have to copy my dots exactly. I'm not even copying my own dots. I'm just kind of using them as a guide. You can see I didn't even copy my own dots. And it doesn't matter because when the template's going to go away, when you take the template off, you know, see what I'm saying, when the template's gone, all you're going to see is your own work. You're not going to see the template. You're only going to see your work, okay? So don't worry about, you know, you just want to get close enough, see, because the template's gone and you can see your own work looks really pretty. So just try to get close enough so that it looks good, you know. So now you can I'll turn them all back on again so you can see what's going on here. Okay. All right, where are we here? If you get lost, just make sure everything is back on. So everything's on where we're supposed to be. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's take a light pink again and let's put a dot inside here. So let's see what size we got to make this one. Okay. And you need to also make sure we're at the right layer. So make sure you're on the very top layer here. Okay. And go back up. Okay, so now everything's back to normal now here. Okay, now I kind of switched it up and I used the lighter pink instead of the darker pink. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. You just, you know, you can mess around as long as you're close, I guess. Okay, so there's that pink, and then you could take the lighter pink and make it a little smaller to make the highlight in the middle. And then if you want to, it might not be on the sample, but you can make a little highlight if you want, like that, in the middle. Okay. And it looks like we lost something over here on this blue area. I don't know. I'm going to do something here. Looks like I lost something, so I'm just going to redo it. And that's the good thing about this. If you lose something, that's okay. You just can always redo it or make something up. Make something up as you go along. It's okay. It's all good. Okay. All right. Okay, now let's come over here. This is where a little bit more skill. This is a little bit more advanced. That's okay. This is all good. It's just all about learning and having fun. Okay, I'm going to use this color over here if you can see where it's moving. Okay. And I am going to make it, looks like it's about, for me it's about a 14 or so here. Then I'm going to come down. Okay, now I'm making it a little bit smaller on the sides. Okay, so you make the bigger top one a little bit bigger, and then you're going to make the a little bit smaller on the sides. Then make it a little bit smaller as you're walking them down. A little bit smaller as you're walking them down on each side. Maybe a little bit smaller as you're walking them down. It's not exact. I mean, it's okay. You know, like those are a little bit bigger, but you know, if you want to be exact, you can make them a little smaller, like that. Okay. Then you can either put your highlights in now, or you can put them in after, or however you'd like. Then you can go and we'll take the purple one, which I forgot to give you a purple, but shoot, I should have given you a purple in your color. I'll fix it and make sure you guys get a purple. Oh, I think I did. I think you guys got a purple. Yeah, it looks like you guys got a purple. I hope you did. I'm not sure you did, but hopefully you got a purple. If you didn't, just email me. If not, I mean, these colors are easy enough to get. I'll try to make sure that you guys got the right colors. Okay, so there's your purple here. And then go down, make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, you want the right colors because I have to give you the right colors. I'll make sure you have the right colors in your color palette. Okay, and then you want to come down a little bit. And then maybe down again. You see, I'm not, you can see I'm not even following my dots exactly the same. It doesn't matter. You just get close enough and it's okay. And then now I'm going to use this same color that I was using, and I'm just going to come back over here. Just going to make sure I get, you know, bigger, that dot bigger, and then start going smaller. Oh, that's too big. Make it a little smaller on each side there. And you want to make sure that they're kind of close to the size, you know. You don't want them, you want to have them get smaller as they go down, because it gives it kind of a nice tapered look. Okay, and then grab your pink, and then do the same thing here. Make sure you get the right size again. And make your two littler ones. Then come back over here, make it a little smaller, and then start walking them down. And make it a little smaller again. And then just so that they fit. And if you need to add one little one there, just if you're really detail orientated and you know, you can just put a little one in there, you know, however. Okay, now you can put your little highlight in by just selecting it here, coming in over here, and grab your little highlight color over here. And then whatever kind of size, just pick a size that you like. But you want to do the same thing with you want to graduate the dots, you know. I'm just going to add little highlights in here. I'll maybe make these a little bit bigger. And then make the middle one a little bit bigger. Whoops, that's a little bit too big. That's a little too small. Just like, what's that? The 3 bears or whatever, where they go in. That bed's too hard. one's too soft, and then, oh, that one's just right. That's how it is with these dots, right? Okay, now we go to the pink, and then we can go get, now you can either go pick a lighter one from here and just grab a lighter pink, you know, just like that, and just to give it a little, you know, your highlight shade. And then just kind of do the same thing. Gotta give it some love. The highlights really give it a lot of good detail, you know. It's like me when I color with colored pencils. I really like the detail work. So, and it really pays off, you know. The more dots you add and the more detail you put in, the more it pays off in your picture. You know, it's already starting to look really nice. See? Okay, so now let's take our ring and let's grab a yellow, and let's take our little ring tool here, and let's see, grab about what size we need for our ring here. Here's our ring, and we need about, we need to figure out kind of about what size we need for our ring. We need it about, where are my rings here? Oh, I got lucky. That's about the right size. I got pretty lucky there. Okay, that's good in there. A good guesser, huh? Okay, grab an orange and grab our dot painting tool. And let's that's too small. Okay. Let's see what I'm doing here. I can't see. That's about good. So I'm gonna, and if you want, you know, if you really need to see what you're doing too, you can always come back over here and take your tool off, and then just place your dot without your, you know, without your tool. That way you can, I mean, without your guide or your template. That way you can kind of see what you're doing, you know, without having that distraction. Okay. So then now we can put a nice yellow in the middle. Okay, now for the outside, let's grab a white and see how I'm just placing these dots like so. And then I'm going to get a smaller one. It's so relaxing. It's satisfying, isn't it? And so fun to do. I love doing that. That little circle is so fun. Okay, now over here, these little flower areas over here. I need to look at my sample, so just give me a little bit of a second here. Sorry, but I need to see my, because I'm not going to be able to teach you here how to do yours if I can't see my own. Okay, so let's come over here, and looks like we got to take a yellow. So let's grab a yellow. And oh, no, we got to do the ring first. It always helps if you do your ring first. Okay, so let's grab the ring and kind of guess to what size roughly. Oh, that was perfect. Okay. All right. Then we're going to grab, now over here in this area here, you could put a bigger ring if you'd like. Or you can do them by hand. I mean, you could put a bigger ring, you know, and then just kind of, you know, kind of guess and make sure it's good. Because but what I did is I did mine by hand because I wanted each one a different color. So I didn't want them all the same color, okay? So what I did is something a little bit different. So let's just copy and do what I did, okay? So let's start first by doing the middle dot. So let's just do it the way I did mine. All right, so let's just grab a yellow and do the middle dot. Okay, then let's grab a blue. Okay. All right. Now, what we could do is grab a light purple and come up with the size that is similar, right about there, and just do every other one. Okay, and then get the dark purple. And then do the same thing. And you know, this template is cool because if you want to make coasters or whatever, you've got the template and all you got to do is just change the colors around. You know, and you can have the same design, just change the colors. Okay? All right, so now let's get your greens. Green. Green. Looks like that's the green. And then we got the light green. Light green. Okay. Okay, that's smaller. Okay, now I'm going to show you here. If you don't like this round, how it comes all the way around like that, you can just leave it like that. If you don't like it like that, you can just use your black brush and erase it with your black brush. Just take black and erase it. You know, if you don't like this purple here like this, if you don't like this purple, just erase it. Okay, so there you go. That's it. I think that's it. Now you could go back through here and you can, you know, put your highlights on these purples if you want. You know, like on these dark purples here. Come through here and then start putting your highlights on these purples. Okay, and then you can also, if you want, you could put these, if you want little strings to come around. You know, these are all little details that you can add in. You know, you could have little strings that, you know, attach them all. And that's just little, you know, any other little details that you want to add in. Just obviously play around and do whatever you want to them. When you're done, you can go like here and you can watch your cool little time relapse video. And you can see what you did. Check it out. Isn't that cool? And you can upload that to your video or to your friends on your Facebook page or whatever, so that they could see like how you did your, you know, your cool art. And, you know, however long it takes you, you know, if it took you 4 hours, it's condensed into however, this is like 30 seconds, into like a 30-second video. But see, so however long it took me to do that, I don't know how long the video, however long it is, but I mean, it's a time-lapse video of it, so isn't it cool though? It's really neat how it, you know, it does the time lapse. So that's all done for you. So when you're all ready for it, you just go here and you hit share, and you could share it as any of these forms here. I just do a JPEG, and then I just I just email it to myself, and then that way I have it right to myself here, and it's done. And then I have it in my mail, and there I do whatever I want to do. I'm going to make this into a tile and also a print for my wall. And then when I do it as a tile, I'm going to do it with resin. I just, you know, cut them. I print them on my printer, put 4 of them up on a piece of paper, and print them out on my printer, cut them out, and then put resin on the top of it with Mod Podge and all kinds of stuff, and then cut them out and make cool little tiles out of them, like coasters, and tiles for my wall, and it's just so fun. It's really cool to do, and it's very obsessive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and tell me how you liked it. And I love to see your work, especially if you change up the colors. That's going to be really fun for me too. Thanks a lot, and bye. See you next video. Ciao for now.